Welcome to Capital City Paranormal-ish, where we delve into the exploration of creepy, strange, paranormal, and unexplainable TikToks that we all love to watch. So sit back, grab your popcorn, and strap in, and get ready to have your entire reality questioned. Hey Freaky Fam, welcome back to another edition of Capital City Paranormal-ish, where we delve into the exploration of creepy, paranormal, odds, strange, all those TikToks that we love to watch. If you're new to the channel here, become a member of the Freaky family by hitting that subscribe button down there. It really helps, it keeps us going and keeps the family getting bigger. And I've been saying it's been growing. I just can't believe it. I'm amazed myself. I feel like I've been neglecting a little bit the last couple of days. I haven't really done a video. So anyways, we're doing this one right now. Let's get to it.
When we first saw Bigfoot, the other side told us they prefer to be called Aeolin. And it's the name that they prefer to be called and also where they come from. It's the same name. And they actually don't like to be called Bigfoot. It's like a derogatory term to them. So we just call them Aeolin, which is Aylonyn, and they spelled it for us. They do not speak to us in English. The way that I communicate with them is telepathic, and I have heard them make noises. And he's the male that we've seen. He's actually said my name in his language, which is a grunting sound, and I couldn't recreate it. And they lived with them, and they interacted with them on a regular basis. And one of the reasons Aeolin has told me that they come here, and this family in particular, is for food. The food here, I don't know if it's better or it's more plentiful here than on their dimension. They also like it here. They just simply like being here. So it's very easy for them to get here, and they like it here. They like to be here. So they've showed us that they can go in and out. So it's like a flash of light, and they'll go through like a door, and they can come right back out. They can also, they can be there and you can't see them. They can be on the other side of the veil, so to speak, and see you, but you can't see them.
Well, isn't that just convenient? Well, I wonder what they've been watching us do. That puts new meaning into what it's like to be a fly on the wall, I guess. Here's the next one.
Can I leave you an apple? That hair is growing. What in the fucking Narnia? Some kind of Rick James? There's an eye in between there's a face in between the two trees there on the right. What's your name? She's got people say, yeah, I do this and I do that when they watch.
Some Rick James looking thing. That's too funny. Anyways, I don't know. Kind of looked weird. It looked like almost like a gorilla to me or something. I don't know. What do you guys think? Bigfoot maybe? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments, and let's get to it.
There ain't nobody convincing me that the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour round the vacuum of space. There also ain't nobody convincing me that the sun is 93 million miles away. Just look at the crepuscular rays coming from the sun. Do you really think if the sun was 93 million miles away and able to light up this whole realm, that they would be blocked out by them little clouds? Just think about it. No matter how high you go, the earth is still flat and stationary. We would feel velocity from spinning 1,000 miles an hour. But this is Earth, guys. This is God's terrarium. This is the beautiful, beautiful world, enclosed system that we have been given as the spirits of the light. But obviously for sensory reasons, this was just for entertainment. Like, you know, the Earth is actually spinning 1,000 miles an hour, and I can totally see curvature. No matter how high I go, the curvature is always there. I'm as fictional as a dinosaur, baby.
I don't know. I've said it 1,000 times and I'll say it again. NASA is just never a straight answer. That's all NASA is. I don't know. I don't believe none of it. That's simple, plain and simple. Here's the next one.
Primitive medical care of a species that had barely begun to conquer its own diseases. But as we...
Iran is ancient Persia, and these recent events carry major prophetic significance regarding the apocalypse and Israel. Learn everything now. The Bible recounts several conflicts involving Israel throughout its history, many of which are recorded in the Old Testament. For example, wars with the Philistines, Assyrians, Babylonians, and Persia, now known as Iran. In the book of Revelation, ancient Persia is described as one of the nations that will play a role in the final events before the return of Jesus Christ. It's mentioned as part of a coalition of nations that will unite to fight against the people of God. Specifically, in Revelation 16, it speaks of the kings of the East, including Persia, joining forces to march into the Battle of Armageddon. This reference suggests that in the last days, Persia will have a significant role in global prophetic events, aligning with other nations to oppose God's people before Christ returns. The current conflict in Israel has escalated, and with each passing day, it becomes clearer. The end times are near. Are you prepared for what's coming?
I don't know, fam. What do you guys think? Are we living in the end of days now? Or are we just living in the end of a time and entering into a new time? I think we're entering into some change. So, depends how you look at it, I guess. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If someone's showing up in my room or something like that in the middle of the night or whatever, and I don't know who it is, I got a problem. But yeah, I don't know. I believe there's things that we don't know about, whether they be from here or from someplace else. Either way, I believe there's a lot that we don't know about. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know.
The violence of the confrontation. The flying object was finally brought back to Edwards Air Force Base in California. And 10 years later, the first anti-gravitational drone using magneto-hydrodynamic propulsion, or MHD, made its debut test flight in the desert around Edwards Air Force Base, where a number of prototypes came into being. The Belgians got a small glimpse of so-called UFOs in 1989 and 1990. The incriminated model was a triangular-shaped Astra TR-3B or XR-7, capable of flying in total silence at more than Mach 10. Now I would like to speak to you about another concrete application of such technology. The B-2 bomber, whose development started in 1982. The official B-2 stealth bomber, which flew for the first time in 1989, was to serve as cover for another unconventional B-2 to be built in parallel. This top-secret model used, among other things, a plasma creation system, exploiting the airflow like an MHD generator. This system produces ionization of the air around the B-2, thereby suppressing air resistance while ensuring total invisibility for any type of radar. This nuclear bomber has flown for 15 years now at more than Mach 10. It can fly around the Earth in just a few hours without being seen. Naturally, such military research was to give rise to many commercial spin-offs. Over the last 10 years, we've seen the appearance of dozens of non-lethal armaments like E-bombs or electromagnetic bombs, as well as, of course, microwave weapons and powerful lasers. The U.S. Department of Defense, through the multinational Raytheon, decided to invest a gigantic amount of money in an experimental program called HARP, or High Frequency Activate Auroral Research Program. And it was quite a program. Officially, the base in Alaska studies the ionosphere. In truth, the real possibilities of the installation are enormous. Climate manipulations, deep detection of underground base or deposits, silent and remote destruction of any object, and most important of all, manipulation of human behavior. So in 1996, a Russian satellite discovered in Antarctica the almost intact wreck of an immense spacecraft, revealed by the melting of the glaciers. The ice samplings indicated a crash date some 24,000 years ago. At the same moment, a volcanic eruption on the Deception Islands, the same islands as before, forced the Russian to request help from the United States, given the urgency and importance of recovery of the vessel. In the end, they suddenly dropped it all and evacuated the zone in panic. The device was finally destroyed by the Russians, extremely upset by the situation, which was no longer working to their advantage. No country will have such opportunity again. And this foolish action, as bad losers on the part of the Russians, was only to reinforce the position of the Americans as regards extraterrestrials. If this account seemed somewhat long despite my efforts to simplify, it was absolutely necessary to get to the subject I mentioned previously. The plot known as the Orion Conspiracy. Our research group is convinced that UFOs constructed by the Americans or the Russians will be used to support an hoax attack on the Earth of extraterrestrial origin. The media taking care of the rest, of course. The reason? Once the threat of international terrorism has dissipated, the war economies of the major powers, with the United States at the head of the pack, will need a new enemy in order to still prosper. War on Earth will be replaced by space war against an enemy from beyond. So then, gentlemen, I thank you. A complete report will be handed to you at the exit. As for me, I'll see you again soon for a second update on a quite different subject. Gentlemen.
What is at the heart of what's going on? Non-human manipulation. And so if that's the case, then why couldn't reptilian beings shapeshift and hide into a human form?
In a recent interview on Iconic, Juliette Bryan, who was kidnapped by Epstein for 2 years, said that she never witnessed any of the dozens of girls there being trafficked to any men other than Epstein, but she did wake up once paralyzed on a table and witnessed Epstein shapeshift into something else. Wow, wild stuff, but I love the connections.
Eyes wide open.
Of Martin Lawrence being a clone after dying from stage 3 lymphoma are finally confirmed. Martin Lawrence started his comedy career in 1992 with a hit show called Martin. Unfortunately, in 2022, he was diagnosed with stage 3 lymphoma. He knew he was going to pass away, and he wrote in his will that he accepted to be cloned so that he can continue his work in the mainstream. Martin Lawrence's family has supported his decision and has accepted his clone as part of them. Unfortunately, the clone cannot withstand and is not the same as the original Martin Lawrence, for the clone does not have a soul. Now that the clone is doing interviews with Will Smith, it's being apparent and the world can see it's not the same Martin Lawrence. He's a lot different. His speech is different, he talks a lot slower, and he looks like he's doing bad. A lot of people are commenting like he's on drugs or something. But unfortunately, the truth is, Martin Lawrence is dead. He died in 2022, and we now have a clone.
Well, isn't that great? Now we're just completely trying to play God. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird to think that, You're running around with a whole bunch of soulless people out there that have just been cloned or something. I don't know. Doesn't even seem right in any way. Just, love someone for their life, that they're here, and, remember them after that. That's what I think. I don't know, I think they're treading in territories where they shouldn't go. Anyways, like I always say, it's just one guy's opinion. But anyways, fam, we've reached that time that we gotta go. But I do promise I'm gonna be more prompt on the videos. We'll be getting one out every day for the most part. And might miss a day here and there. We do need a little break once in a while, but it's not work for me anyways. I enjoy doing it, and with the response that I've had, it's great. So, and yeah, that's it. So until the next time, my Freaky Fam, and those of you that are not Freaky Fam members, hit that subscribe button. It's free. It only takes 2 seconds, and we'd welcome you into the fam. No problem. So anyways, till the next one, au revoir. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Capital City Paranormalish. We hope you have enjoyed today's video and its content, and we hope to see you again in the next video. And remember, to become part of the Freaky family, just simply hit that subscribe button down below. So until next time, my Freaky family, stay safe, look over your shoulders.